The Oklahoma Sooners, and specifically Brent Venables himself, have offered a 3-star athlete per 247 in Taylor Heim in Bethany, Oklahoma. But before we get into it and dive into a little bit more about who Taylor Heim is and why the Oklahoma Sooners should want this kid, please go ahead, hit that like and the subscribe button. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below. What do you think about Taylor Heim, and do you think the Oklahoma Sooners can go out there and land the 3-star athlete from Bethany, Oklahoma? So, late in the wee hours of the evening on Friday night, Taylor Heim, right now he's listed as a linebacker on 247, but the 3-star, we're going to call him an athlete because that's what Brent Venables specifically offered him as, and per Taylor Heim himself was told, they offered me as an athlete and will find a spot for me. And when Brent Venables comes calling, you've at least got to pick up the phone and take the call. And when you look at everything that Taylor Heim was able to do on the field for Bethany, in his senior season, he had 1,860 total yards. He had 25 total touchdowns and 65 tackles. 47 of those were solo and 6 interceptions, which is just incredible. And when you go back and you watch his film, you see that he's a ball hawk, whether it's on the wide receiver or it's back in the secondary. He has a knack for keeping his eye on the ball, knowing where that ball is going to be, and then going up and getting it. And whether he plays linebacker, I would doubt he plays back in the secondary with all of the secondary players that Oklahoma took. Or whether he goes and plays on the offensive side of the ball at wide receiver. You know that the kid is going to be able to make an impact wherever he goes. Because even on special teams, he just goes out there and dodges everybody. He has a good instinct to get wherever the end zone is. And there is a hole at wide receiver for the Oklahoma Sooners right now. I wouldn't say it's a massive hole, but I would think that the Oklahoma Sooners definitely want to take a couple more wide receivers, whether it's either in this recruiting class or definitely through the transfer portal, to kind of shore up that spot going into 2023. And Taylor Heim is one of those guys where you could 100% redshirt him. You're probably not going to get him to scoff at that a little bit. And you get a guy that you can develop and potentially have a generational player in your hands. He has listed on his Twitter, it's a pinned tweet. Now, we haven't seen this officially, but he said he's running a 4.47 40 and a 36.5 vertical. Tell me you don't want the kid. Tell me you don't want the kid. The only thing that I think is going to cause problems for Oklahoma is they're kind of coming in late on this recruitment. Now, Oklahoma being, the closest school to him by, I would say quite a bit, because Tulsa's pretty far away. I'd say pretty far. It's like an hour and a half away. You're still coming in late on the recruitment. He's taken official visits to Airforce, Louisiana Tech, and Ohio. He's taking one to Tulsa this weekend. But, especially for anybody in Oklahoma, OU is always going to be hard to turn down. Always hard to turn down. The question is Kevin Wilson and the Tulsa staff going to be able to talk this kid into not taking a visit to Oklahoma and recruiting or committing on the spot, which we know that sometimes being committed doesn't mean anything because you can still flip that commitment. So go ahead and let me know what y'all's thoughts are on Taylor Heim, the 3-star athlete out of Bethany, Oklahoma, here in the class of 2023. Do you think he will land an Oklahoma Sooner on National Signing Day?